What's really pissing you off during this pandemic? My roommates are a couple. They've had sex 5 times today. Player 3 has entered the game. Uncertainty. I understand why things are being cancelled, but not knowing when life will return to normal is very stressful. The economy being in the toilet, and my son won't stop putting plastic bugs in people's hair. That I'm still working. I get it, I should be lucky that I still have money coming in, but I don't want to get sick. The memes haven't been that good yet. The racism that this brought towards Asians, with Chinese restaurants being hit the hardest. The spring breakers in Florida right now. My school is not refunding anything. The holier than thou approach everyone on social media is using. Someone on Facebook was saying about what a kind and optimistic person she usually is, and she's encouraging people to pray for our nation. Sounds fine. Then she says, there are a lot of poisonous people in my life and I have prayed, God is pruning his garden. Wait, what? This woman is pretty toxic herself. Why is she celebrating the death of people as God pruning his garden? Maybe God will prune someone else's garden of you, kind and optimistic person. I can't get a job. That no one has a effing clue when things are going to come back to normal. People fighting with cashiers or employees about purchasing limits. The limits don't exist because people need so much of the item. Toilet paper is the easiest example. The limits exists because you're a effing idiot. My dad has health problems, and if he got the virus it would probably be deadly. Because of this, I can't go visit my family at all as I am still actively working with the public. My whole family is quarantining and all I have been able to do for them is drop supplies at their front door. I typically go see my dad at least once a week, so this all has been really hard for me. My brother is showing symptoms but he can't get tested because there aren't enough. He can't get paid time off unless he gets tested, and his job is asking him to keep working. Being paranoid. You feel like you have a fever, scared to cough, scared to sneeze. The amount of people panic buying groceries. I am just trying to do my regular shopping but there is no food on the shelves. Went today. Literally no chicken. No toilet paper or tissues. Most of the bread gone. Milk almost completely gone. This was before noon at a large grocery store. It's worrying, to be honest. Lack of basic supplies on the shelf. People still hoarding on toilet paper. I saw a comment on a social media post, and it was a long rant about it all being a plot to get people to be injected with a chip, when a vaccine for COVID-19 becomes available. It had like 3,000 likes within a few hours. It was the top comment. This is why nature keeps trying to kill us, guys. Some influencers that I know are using this pandemic as a perfect marketing strategy for marketing cosmetic products and shit, which is just so shallow to me it really angers me. I'm running out of shit to do. I've finished like 10 projects in my shop, I've destroyed the ghetto-rigged range I set up in my backyard, and now I'm down to hiking, fishing and weed pretty much. Not being able to celebrate your birthday. Turned 18 on the 18th. I feel you. Scammers. A man and a woman here were arrested selling bottles of tap water mixed with garlic, Tylenol, and vitamin tablets as a miracle cure for COVID-19. People telling me I'm not taking it seriously enough. I'm being too casual, too flippant. I am taking it seriously, I'm nervous as F, I'm just not showing it because I don't want certain people in my life to lose their shit more than they already are. It's taking a effing toll. Just the fact that the virus exists, and so many people can't figure out to quarantine. Some countries still keeping schools and such open. We all need to get in on the quarantine to beat the virus. The fact that United States will get a fat bailout while they continue to F customers, not give refunds, only offer shitty credit to be used within a year and likely still steal from you. How selfish some people are being. I hate the fact that life has basically grind to a halt. People's greed and selfishness in general. Whether it's panic buying, congressmen or congresswomen selling off stocks with insider information, or people ignoring directives to self-isolate or quarantine, it's just frustrating to see that even in a global crisis people won't change from being naturally interested only in themselves. I know there's way more people being selfless and altruistic and everything, but the ones who aren't are just really frustrating. I was out of the country studying abroad. I wanted to stay here because the healthcare there was better than my small town I'd be sent home to. I raised that fear, and that there are 2 immunocompromised people in my household with my university, and they sent me home anyways. I'm now sitting here with a fever of 104 degrees and severe abdominal pain. The hospital told me, "You probably have COVID-19. Stay home and take a Tylenol because we just give you one and send you home anyways." The landlord just moved in a roommate without any notice. Literally told us as she was doing it. During a California lockdown. Roommate is clearly sick. Effing hoarders. People buying a shit ton of certain products so when other people need them it's difficult to find. I was so close to saving up to buy a house. I was within a few $100s of having the down payment ready and getting the process is really rolling. And now I don't have a job. The effing spring breakers in Florida and their absolute disregard for public safety. Lack of regard for basic hygiene. Saw someone coughing in a mall with their mouth open and not covering it up yesterday. Saw someone use a public restroom and not wash their hands the day before. Like you shouldn't be doing these things ever, but especially not now. People dying alone without their families to hold their hand because of selfish people who are not staying home. People who boast about having a superior immune system, and claim they won't be infected. Let's assume they are right. They are such a picture of perfect health they'll never get sick. Congratulations, they're in the most dangerous category of folks who can carry the virus and spread contamination without exhibiting symptoms. And while we're at it, can we please stop with the faulty comparisons? Let's stop highlighting that the flu has a higher mortality rate and start remembering that most of us get immunization for the flu. Let's stop pointing out that more people die from car crashes than have died from this virus. Just because that statement is true, does not make it relevant to our situation. These are faulty comparisons. It is like pointing out that hemorrhoids are more of a pain in the ass than having brain cancer. It's true. But irrelevant. That people think that they are invincible and don't care who them ignoring directives hurts or kills. That I was only allowed to buy 2 individuals packs of ramen when we were almost out because someone came is every time they had new ones and bought all of it. There was a Karen at my local store during the 2 hours designated for elderly and compromised yesterday. All the fake numbers. In my country, first there was 1 death, and few days later there were 0. I know that necromancy is quite popular here, but still. Every single politician. Social media. I've decided the best thing to do is just ignore anything COVID related that isn't directly from a healthcare provider or the government. Even if it's from a doctor or nurse, I've seen some dumb stuff from them in the past, and any FER can do a Google image search and use a fake pic in their viral post to add some authenticity. I've lost count of the number of NHS doctor or nurse posts of people not in NHS uniform and clearly not on an NHS ward. People being dumb about it. Sure, the UK government advice has been disjointed, but I think it's pretty clear. No non-essential travel, for example, followed by a bunch of people saying what's non-essential, how am I meant to know, lack of clarity. It's not rocking effing rocket science, and you're not a child. The government can't list out every scenario for you. If you can't decide whether or not your coffee morning with the other stay-at-home moms is essential, then we're all doomed. Human stupidity. Though in their defense, people's stupidity was annoying me long before the pandemic started. That I've had to call off my 21st birthday and that my cousin has had to delay her wedding until next year, both events I was very much looking forward to. Couple things, mainly A. There's no definitive answer on how long these crazy AF isolation measures will be implemented for B. The general selfishness some people are showing, spring breakers in Florida, and C. That people are playing the blame game. It's the Chinese. It's rich people who travel a lot. Come on. We have a lot to learn from this virus and how it was handled in the early stages, such as poorly, but blaming people for going about their lives, pre-lockdown, and getting sick is asinine.